Hello, Hearties. It's Sunday, and we need to chat about When Calls the Heart and the possible storylines for season 10. Stay tuned.
Since you're here, click the button and subscribe, and also click the bell and the word all for notifications.
Okay, I want to talk about the possible storylines for season 10. They tied up most of the storylines and gave us these little delicious hints along the way, especially in that last episode. So this is actually part 1 of 2. And I am going to look at first Bill. So Bill, all through season 9, was sick and it progressed. And by the end of season 9, in that last episode, you saw the touching scene that he had with Elizabeth and little Jack. And not that he thought he was dying, but he got his affairs in order and he had an envelope for Elizabeth. And they talked like a little bit about what he had, but they kind of skirted around the issue. Whether it was because that's just the policy of When Calls the Heart, where you really don't talk about, life-threatening diseases, I'm not quite sure, or if it's sort of like a bit of a mystery. So it was sort of secretive, but the part that I want to focus on is that he's going to Union City to get treatment. So they chose Union City, and I'm thinking to myself, when we go to season 10, I don't expect it to be like a time hop and then Bill's already back and he's healthy. Even if it's just for a few episodes, I think we're going to see him in Union City. And I'm wondering if it's who he's going to encounter when he is in Union City. I'm not saying that it'll be someone that we've already met character-wise. It could be a storyline that somehow, some way is going to connect him back into Hope Valley when he returns. So that is one of my predictions. Now, the second storyline I want to focus on is that of Elizabeth and Lucas, but not Elizabeth and Lucas as a couple. It's more like Elizabeth and Lucas and their family meeting because they're getting married. I really think that we are going to see some kind of storyline about the interactions of their families. Both of the fathers are prominent in business. I feel that somehow, some way, their paths have crossed, and there's going to be some kind of a conflict because it makes for good storylines, good story writing. And it's not just going to be smooth sailing. Oh, they get married, all their families meet, and everything's great. I really think that they're going to pull out some storylines from their parents' meeting. It's not just going to be a hot minute. They come on, there's a wedding, and they go. They could get some good stuff from there. So that is my second prediction. All right, my third prediction has to do with Fiona. I think that this is the season for Fiona to have a life-defining storyline. She's had storylines, but not life-defining. We've been learning about her along the way. She's always a great secondary ensemble character, but I think we're going to learn way more about her. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to actually meet some of her family members or even her ex-fiance. And I'm not saying that she is going to be falling in love and having, this big storyline with Arthur Gilchrist, but I do believe that he will be involved in some way. He'll come back, even if it is to spark another love interest. I'm not saying a triangle with another character, but I think he will be back, especially since his storylines are tied into the whole oil business, then the newspaper, and something's going to go down with them. So I'm excited to see that because I love the character of Fiona, and I'm excited to see where that goes, especially because of the comment that was made between Fiona and Hickam in season 9, the last episode, where Hickam's taken down his mayor plaque for his office, and Fiona's talking to him about his shares and giving them back, and he says, I would like to come back, and he's like, we've got to figure out something with you. They're not just going to get rid of you, and she goes, I won't roll over for Mr. Smith. So it's a hint. Storyline coming up for her, and I think it's going to be a good one that she's not in and out of town and we don't see her for weeks and then she comes back. One where it's very much focused. And I'll give you a hint, I heard this on an interview too, so I think it's going to go down. Alrighty, that's it for this part 1. Part 2, I have a few more storylines that I will talk to you about, but that will be next week. You have a good one.